Hey, Ari.
Hey, Vince.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you today?
Girl, I'm tired.
Oh, okay. Look,
You know I got one more podcast after this.
I see, girl. You a busy woman working.
Yes, heavy. So
I know that's right.
So introduce my folks to you.
Okay, so my name is Ariana Sherman. I am the owner of Kurv Appeal, which is a online plus size boutique. I've been doing that since 2016. I'm also the mother of three girls. Three girls. Yeah, I know it's a wild house. And I also am the co-owner of a non-emergency medical transportation company as well. So I'm a little busy, but I'm doing it. I'm out here and I'm, doing what I can, leave my little legacy or whatnot.
Girl, how you juggling all of that?
Woo. Listen, I don't even know sometimes, for real. I wake up at 6 and I typically don't go to bed till like midnight, 1:00 between kids and businesses. So my saving grace for real is using a planner. Scheduling. Oh yeah. I have to in order to keep everything in line. Oh yeah. I have to. And then my oldest is 13, so she's a lifesaver as well. So yeah, It's tough, but we get it done.
So how are you actually prioritizing your time? What advice could you give a mom that's an entrepreneur herself?
I would say not to. Well, I think the first thing would, which is might be cliche, but taking time for yourself is important. I tell people all the time, you cannot pour from an empty cup. And honestly, that's something that came to me recently. When I originally started my first business, which was Kurv Appeal back in 2016, I was working full time as well. And then back then I only had 2 kids. We got to think, like, hold on, how many? I only had 2 kids back then, 2 girls back then. And it originally started off as kind of like a side hustle. So back then it was a little easier because it was just kind of something I did on the side, but I still was like, mom full time. As I've kind of transitioned to where it's not full-time entrepreneur, full-time mom, I've learned that I really need to take time for myself in order for me to be the best mom that I can be, because at the end of the day, that's the most important hat, as opposed to, being an entrepreneur or a business owner. Being a mom is most important to me. So I've learned to take care of myself. I have to schedule those time. That self-care is important. Yeah. Just making sure that you take the time for yourself. And then using a journal or like a planner. That's what I'm trying to say, not a journal, but using like a planner. Yeah, using like a planner to help you to keep yourself, I guess, on task. That helps with the day-to-day. That helps me with the day-to-day. So I actually use a physical planner. I also use my phone calendar as well, that planner as well, to kind of keep me on time or on schedule with things that I have going on. So taking time for yourself and really like planning out your day is the easiest piece of advice that I can give for moms who are trying to juggle it.
So what is one of your toughest moments you had juggling being a mom and an entrepreneur?
That's a good question. I would say it probably would come down to one of my like really late nights, or no, actually, no, I'm not going to say that. One of the toughest moments that I've had as being a mom and an entrepreneur is, well, I was going to say something about what my daughter is doing now, which is, I'm actually going to touch on that, because my oldest daughter is 13 and she's also starting her entrepreneur journey as well. So it's tough because I want to help her, but also, being mom as well, but I'm also doing my own thing. So I guess the hardest thing is being able to support my children 100% while also being able to give 100% of myself to my business as well. One of the things that we're working on now is, getting her started up in her own journey, her own business. But I don't want to be that mom who's like overbearing, who's overstepping my boundaries with, letting her do her own thing. And I think for me personally, the hardest part is really just switching off that hat, that entrepreneur to mom hat.
Right.
I don't know. Like that would be the hardest thing for me, just being able to switch back and forth, because my children see me. They see what I do. They, I guess it's a good thing. They want to be entrepreneurs now, but it's, I guess, knowing that fight that they have to go through on their own, because I don't want to come in and take over their particular, take over her business and what she's doing. So I guess it's just that switching it on and off is the hardest thing for me.
That's good that you have accountability for that, because sometimes as certain moms, they really don't see that. They make that mistake.
Mm-hmm.
And that you actually see that, and then you are working on trying to improve in that area, and even just communication. I know you great at communicating with your kids.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So that's something that's very important too. Just keeping that line of communication there for them to feel comfortable to come to you, say, "Mom, I feel like you're too busy. Mom, I want to spend time with you. Mom, can we watch a movie?"
Oh my goodness, I've heard all three of those before. And, yeah, and sometimes I especially back up until recently, it used to be really bad to where it was like I had no time for them. And it wasn't until like I hit like 31, like within like the last 2 to 3 years where I really I'm not going to say like I started to take being a mom more serious, but I really started to listen to my children more and like what it is that they were complaining about essentially. And it was just really just being able to, yes, I'm trying to, build a business over here, but also I have little people who are looking up to me, who depend on me. So it was definitely one of those moments where it was just like, okay, I might not get paid for being a mom, but it's rewarding in its own sense. And I have children who are looking to me to, because they can't do for themselves quite yet, especially because especially my youngest too. So it was definitely an eye opener for me, like being able, having to, especially when my kids came to me like, "Can we watch a movie? Like, you haven't watched a movie with us. You don't do anything with this." And it's just like, dang, I don't, because I'm always in this computer or something's always going on. So I've been there before. I've heard those.
Okay. So with you being an entrepreneur, how was it for you during the pandemic? What was like one of your toughest moments then, especially juggling and being a mom, keeping yourself financially stable, and also just having your mental health there?
Absolutely. So when the pandemic hit, I was actually working. I was still working my business, still working Kurv Appeal. I had taken a completely different route during that time when the pandemic had hit. I was actually selling t-shirts at that time. So I wasn't even in the boutique thing. I did the boutique thing. It kind of didn't work out for me. So I tried the t-shirts. And then when the pandemic hit, I was like, okay, I was working, so I was laid off. My kids were at home, and I'm like, okay, well, now we're here. I have something here, but I don't, how do I move forward with this? So when the pandemic hit, it was a huge change because my children were then at home with me. I was no longer making any kind of income at that point. And then also the transportation business that I co-own, we had not actually been running that. We had, it had started, but we didn't have actually any clients yet. So essentially we had two businesses that we were sitting on that weren't doing anything, and kids were home. No money was being brought in. So it was definitely a panic at that time. And what I did during the pandemic is I really started to get more clarity on what it is that I wanted. And with gaining clarity, what I did was I started to journal, I started to meditate. I started to really goal set and really get my mind together, because it's like I could lose my mind. I could be worried about how we gonna eat, where the next paycheck gonna come, or I can really put in the work and make one of these two something pop, so that we have something going in. So that was a big thing for me, is tapping into my I guess my inner self is what I did. And that kind of helped me out, setting up goals, getting just not determined. I don't know what word it was I was looking for, but just really just getting more disciplined about what it is that I wanted to do, where I was going with my life, and what we had, what we already had established.
Okay. Tell me a little bit more about your transportation company.
Sure. So my transportation company is actually co-owned with me and my daughter's dad. So all three of my daughters they have the same dad. So me and him were together for 12 years. And within the last 3 to 4 years, we actually started the transportation company. It was a struggle. I'm not going to sit here and say that it is easy by far, because people hear transportation, they think that it's just like, no.
Yeah, well, that's with anything, though. Everybody thinks you're supposed to just be big money and all this and that, and it don't work like that.
Absolutely not. We have been working on that transportation company for almost 3 years before we actually got to where we were actually working. Okay. So we started that together, and I actually just kind of do like the office work. He's more of like the driver of the company. Okay. So that's how that got started. I won't say that we didn't get started during the pandemic, because it had actually already been in place, but we were grateful enough that during the pandemic we were actually able to get licensed and actually start to pick up clients. So we've been doing that now for a little over a year. And it's tough, but it's not tough in the sense of being a business owner. It's tough because him and I are no longer together. So we have to navigate that co-parenting, plus also being business partners. So it's a very interesting situation, but it works for us because we're really great friends. That with us being together for so long, we were able to build a friendship. So even once the relationship ended, we were still able to be amicable, but it has its moments for sure.
Oh yeah, it do.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
That's good though. It just shows a lot of growth.
Oh yeah.
It shows a lot of understanding. And even just for your daughters to see that mom and dad is able to still co-parent and own businesses together, you guys are really setting an example for y'all's daughters.
Yeah, and that was a big thing for me when we broke up. It was I was very, I won't say determined, but I was adamant on making sure that even though my kids may not see or may not grow up in a 2-parent household where both their mom and their dad live together, and but they were able to at least see us work together and, still have a healthy relationship with their parents. So that was very important to me. And even though it went sour, at the end of the day, I just was like, you know what, things happen, life happens, and, you learn from it and you move on.
Yeah. But it's a blessing though.
It is. Absolutely.
It really is, because you really don't hear things like that.
Oh yeah. I know. Like I said, though, it ain't always a walk in the park.
No, it's not always a walk in the park, but it's just there. You know what I'm saying? Just long as it's there. Sometimes you don't get nothing.
Man, that is very true. And I tell him all the time, like, I tell him all the time, I'm grateful that we are able to work together. Like,
yeah.
It just, I'm grateful that we're able to do this. And it's not even for us, it's for our kids. It's for, when we pass on, they'll have something for, if they want to work the family business or if they want to, do whatever with it. It's for them. And that is the goal that we both keep in mind, is that it's not about us. This is about them.
Yes, that is so true. So tell me about your weight loss journey.
Oh, okay. So that also happened during the pandemic as well. Yes. So yeah, I lost like 40 pounds, like over a year. And honestly, it just came from sitting in the house. I was sitting in the house.
For real?
No, listen, this is where it blossomed from. I won't say it happened that way. It blossomed from sitting in the house. And I was like, okay, I'm in the house. I'm not doing anything. I was still kind of going like through like the whole breakup thing, of course, as well. So I was like, okay, I need something to do. COVID done shut everything down. Ain't no gym open, ain't no nothing open. And I actually came across a girl who offered a workout program, paid $20 for it. and it was an 8-week program, and I committed myself to 8 weeks, and I did it.
Go
and I did it during the pandemic, and I got up every single morning, and I did it, and I was eating right. And, I mean, I still like, and that's one of the things. That's one of the habits that I kind of picked up on. I still eat pretty decent, so drinking my water and stuff. But yeah, it literally stemmed from being in the house and not having anything else to do, and needing to find something else to do during the day aside from being a school teacher to my children, and then just sitting around and wondering, what else we were going to do. So it's funny. Yeah, it stemmed from me sitting in the house. That's how I lost weight.
No, listen, the pandemic was something serious for a lot of people. Like, seriously, it took us back to not having nothing. You know what I'm saying? To a point where all we have really is just to be on social media and idle time to really think about things that we normally don't think about, because we're usually busy going to work and doing all this type of stuff. So once it like slowed down, you like, man, I can't do this. I can't do that. Why don't I do this? And you start doing shit that you ain't done in years.
Exactly. Like I can tell you, like I'm one of those people who like go on and off to the gym. Like I'll go to the gym, I'll get dedicated for a little minute, but after about a month or two, I'm like, okay, I'm bored. I ain't going no more. I fall back into those bad habits. But during that pandemic, I was like, there's literally nothing else to do. And they say it takes 21 days to break a habit or to create a habit. And it was a program that was 8 weeks. And it's something that stuck with me. I don't still work out, unfortunately.
I'm ready to ask you still working out?
Yeah, I don't, but I have been able to maintain, which I kind of feel like kind of works in my favor. Like I still do get the urge to work out though. That's the thing. Like,
well, you because my ass and go work out then.
But here's I'm so busy. It's like how? Like I could find the time. It's just the pandemic gave me time because there was nothing else to do. Now.
So do you got 30 minutes?
I probably do.
I know you do.
Honestly, I do. I do. I ain't even gonna sit here and lie. I got 30 minutes. I have 30 minutes. But here's the thing. Like for me, when I get free time, it's like, okay, what can I do real quick? What can I do real quick that's gonna satisfy me? And working out ain't it right now. So I got to that point like, well, it ain't, my body ain't that bad. I could live with this for right now. That's kind of where I'm at right now. So I'm at that kind of like lazy stage, but I don't let myself fall back into those habits like where I would eat late or drinking like a lot of juice, pop, candies, like snacks. No, I think that's kind of like the secret is that with me working out, I started drinking more water, eating more fruits, vegetables, meats, and that's just something that's kind of continued with me. So I still eat a lot, eat very clean for the most part.
That's good.
Yeah, so I think that's kind of like what's kind of like my secret is that I've been able to keep it off because I have adopted those healthy habits, which I like now.
Okay, well, we'll keep going then, girl.
Oh, thank you. Look, now I need to find 30 minutes to just go jump rope or something now. Now I need to.
Well, you better come over my house then.
Look, I see that gym. Look, I'm ready.
I'm like, hey, all right, let's go.
All right, 30 minutes. I can do that. I can commit that.
It was crazy. So tell me, let's give some people some history on basically, I ain't even gonna say history, information on e-commercial, like to a point where, you do a lot of online shopping as far as people coming to your site and everything, and it's not really anything to a point. Somebody can just come into your store. Right. Do you feel like it's better to have an online store than an actual store?
Yes and no. And the reason why I say yes and no is because I'm kind of I'm biased on that, because with the online store you can reach so many people. You can sell to whomever. You can sell to California, and I live in Ohio, or to wherever. And that's the beauty of it, is that you literally can find customers from everywhere. The downside to selling online is that in order to find those customers, you have to learn other things, as opposed to if you have a brick and mortar store, then you open up your doors, your community comes out and they support you, and that's usually how you make your money. That's pretty simple enough. When you're online, you have to learn marketing.
Yeah.
And not even just that, like it goes so deep. Like you have to learn your brand. You have to learn who you're talking to so that you know how to market to that person. So for me, I don't mind online selling because I've learned those things. But when I first started, it was rough because you don't know. So you just selling and you're like, well, I sell clothes and people need clothes. So
yeah,
I should be selling out. No. So I think having a brick and mortar store is good. Like if you're looking to serve your local community, your local area, while also, of course you could always, ship out from there as well.
Yeah.
But something about the online store is just more attractive to me, especially because like the overhead costs and things of that sort are very low as well.
Coming out of that money, okay?
Okay, look, because I'm like, you have to pay, you got to pay rent there. You pay utilities at that spot, and then you got to come home and pay utilities and rent. I'm just like, like that's a lot of expenses to come out, as opposed to when you have an online store, you pay your little monthly fee. You might pay, for some marketing here or there, but it's nowhere near the same amount as expenses as opposed to running an actual store.
Yes. I like marketing strategies. A lot of people have a difficult time finding their niche. When you find your niche, I think a lot of people need to realize is when you're marketing, you have to figure out your insights and your algorithm, because the algorithm has changed during pandemic. So we may not be attracting our followers that we normally attract. They probably don't even see our post anymore.
Yep.
So you have to switch up your whole algorithm. And you know what else I learned is when you do TikTok videos and you utilize and the TikTok logo is on the video,
the Instagram will shadow your video. Yes.
Yes.
I learned that as well.
Slow down. It'll slow down so bad because it was like I noticed like some of my videos was getting like 300 or whatever, but then another time when I just did a plain video without it, girl, I done got like 20,000 plus views or something. But it's a difference, and a lot of people don't know that. And then you just really have to learn it and learn your audience and learn who to follow and who to connect with.
Absolutely. You hit that right on the nail, because that is one thing that I learned within the last year. That's one of the things that people, especially like with social, there's so many platforms nowadays. It's like, I got to post on TikTok, post on Instagram, post on Facebook, post on Twitter, post on Pinterest, send out emails. It's like you have so many different platforms that you're trying to reach people. So of course, for people like us who are smaller business, owners, I don't have a lot of time to sit here and make a reel, and then I have to turn around and then make a TikTok. Yeah, I want to be able to use that across the same platform. So I feel like Instagram was like being a hater. I like being a hater low key, because why I can't post my TikTok video? Like it's the same thing, but I get it. It's because of that logo or whatever the case may be. So
yeah,
it's definitely that algorithm is a major key.
It is.
Like it's one of those things that you have to learn. Like in order, if you want to get to a point to where your audience or where you're targeting the right people. Yeah, marketing strategies is absolutely where it's at.
Yes, and sometimes the things become old, and you got to start all over something new. But all right, she on here. She talk about she screen recorded.
Who's screen recording? Oh, Ari on here. Oh, I see her. Yeah, no. Let me tell y'all something. I found out on TikTok. There's actually an app.
It's a TikTok app.
Yes, there's an app called Save Talk, and you can save all of your TikTok videos without the
logo.
And that's what I've been using.
Girl, listen, and it works.
It works. It sure does. I did use to screen record it too, but I just felt like it was just extra for me to have to do all that. And I'm just like,
yeah, because you gotta like do all that like editing and stuff when you go in your camera roll.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I used to hate that. But yeah, that save tag works, and I use that like when I upload to my reels and stuff. If it's a TikTok video, I just use that, and that works because it doesn't have the logo on it, and for some reason Instagram likes it, so it works for me.
So tell me, what is your difference as far as your customers from home and away? How does your support go?
Actually, I get a lot of support from the city. I know a lot of people complain don't get a lot of support from the city, but I do. What I find is that I get support from the city, but a lot of people may not know because a lot of people may not post or they may not say a whole lot. But I have a lot of people in the city who buy from me continuously, and I'm so grateful. Like I say it all the time, like thank you so much. Like you have no idea like how much you've helped me out. So my support in the city is great. Support outside of the city is, we get in there. I've shipped to different states and things of that sort. But I don't really know those customers to really be able to determine like what the difference is. I mean, I get love here and there though. So
that's good. That's a true blessing. I think sometimes a lot of people focus on who's supporting them instead of actually working their business, because regardless, some sort of support is gonna come. You just don't want any type of a support so that you know that your business is coming through. You know what I'm saying?
You know what? Absolutely. And you know what I think that stems from, though? I think that stems from a lot of people being like newer business owners. Like if you would have asked me that question a couple years ago, I would have been like, you know what? I don't even care. Like, but I feel as though like once you know your brand and you know exactly what it is that you're selling, you know who you're selling to. Like once you get crystal clear on what it is that you're selling, what your brand represents and who it's for, who my audience is for, it's one of those things like where it's like, it's almost like it's like a freight train you can't stop because people are finding me because
that's good.
I have honed in on my messaging and they're finding me and they're buying from me. So, but it takes time to get to that point. So I had to get up out my feelings and be like, you know what, people don't want to buy from me. Oh, well, but it's not that they don't want to buy because of who I am, it's because either I'm not talking to them because they're not my target audience, or they haven't seen me. Like you said, they probably don't even see my posts for the most part. So it's just one of those things you have to learn.
Okay. So on a personal level, what is one of your most difficult times that you've had during your lifetime?
Honestly, my relationship ending. Like, it was tough because we were together since high school, since I was 18, since I was a senior in high school.
Wow.
We were together since I was in high school, and we broke up when I was 30, and I'm about to be 33 this year. So we were together for 12 years. And it's so funny now because now I can look back and laugh, of course. But when you break up with somebody, you're like, dang, like you really thought, like you really think you're gonna be with somebody forever. And
and some people be lying because you'll be feeling like pure shit for real because it's heartbreaking. You be used to that person.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, damn, like it's really over.
Yeah. And that's really big. The beauty, I guess, in that it was just like it's over, but it's not like I hate them. Like it's over because it no longer works for us. So it wasn't to a point that was like I can't stand you, like I don't want to. It was just like, you know what, our breakup was amicable. It was more like, you know what, I can't do this no more with you. And it was hard for me to have to do that because I was like, I know that we could be together. We could work it out, but it's just like, it's not working out anymore. And I know it's not working out. And I have no more fight left in me to try to make it out, to try to make it work. So why not, be friends instead? And, and that's work. But I'm not going to sit here and lie and say like, I washed my hands and I was like, oh, we broken up. No. I fought myself a lot because it was like, I found myself fighting for a relationship that I knew in the back of my head I really didn't want. like I knew we couldn't be together because I just knew like it would never work out for us because we had already got to a point like where it just wasn't working anymore. So I found myself finding myself a lot like, just make it work, just go back to your and I was just like, no, I had to walk away because I knew like it would be best for me and my children, like, and now, and not to say like he's a bad person, like he's a
Right.
awesome person, he's a great dad, great man, he does what he's supposed to do. But I knew in order for me to be a better mom, better mother, a better woman all around, I had to go out and just kind of do my own thing. So it was definitely tough, and it was it was one of those times where you're like, whew, how am I gonna make it out of this? You know how you have them days and you just like, Lord, please just let me just get all the tears out today, and I promise I won't cry more.
It's because
I promise I won't be sad no more. Like, I promise.
I mean, you're used to them. Like, what else are you supposed to know? And it's like, man, like this really happening to me right now. And then sometimes you will feel lost. Like, what am I gonna do next?
Yeah, and especially because we were together when I was young, like we were in high school. So it's like, oh, that's my little high school sweetheart. We done had kids, we've had a lot of milestones that we hit together. And for it to just be like, oh, that's no more. It's just like, oh, and then on top of that, now we in 2021 trying to date. So then I'd be like, oh, geez, like maybe I should have just stayed where I was at this point. Like,
girl,
it's a lesson though.
Yeah, it is. It's a true lesson. So how is it dating in 2021?
Yeah, it is.
Your phone breaking up a little bit, Ari.
I think I think I take a different approach to dating than most people. I date to.
Can you hear me?
I'm on a laptop.
You is? Because your Wi-Fi going kind of slow.
I'm connected to the internet.
I don't know why is it doing that. It's like you all chopped the screw right now.
If I try to refresh it, will it I can hear you, but it is lagging just a little bit.
Yeah. We'll get it together. Y'all give her some time.
Can you hear?
No, it's like you breaking up really bad.
Let me see here.
Y'all just give it to the time. Be patient.
You must say, because I can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you too, but at the same time, it's like
let me try something else here.
You're moving kind of slow, like in slow motion, and sometimes
I'm connected and everything here. I'm sorry.
No, you okay? You fine. It happens. It's a part of us having electronics.
Okay, there we go. Wait a minute. Oh, okay, let me try something else here.
Y'all just give us some time.
I'm saying I'm still connected.
I'm gonna do a quick break real quick, okay?
Yes, I'm sorry, y'all.
Hey y'all. So Ari is going to be coming back on in a few. She has some technical difficulties with her internet, so she's going to be connecting real soon. I just want to go over a few things. I will be having advertisement opportunities that will be coming up soon. So I want you guys to email me lifeherpodcast@gmail.com and you could be able to advertise your products and everything. Here's Ari. She's getting ready to come back on. Okay, we good.
Okay, I think we're good because I can see and hear you. Can you see and hear me?
I can, but it's still you still kind of breaking up really bad.
Oh, this is a nightmare.
I know, right? It'll be okay.
And that's yeah, and I don't know why because I'm connected. Everything is on.
It's okay, girl. Don't be beating yourself up about it.
Spectrum, boy. I tell you. Freaking
Okay, this is what we gonna do. Um,
let me turn some of these things off. Um,
so y'all,
I know. Girl,
it's so
look, I'm like, I done
this
switched over to my
but
look. That's Spectrum, boy. They get okay.
okay, y'all. So
Stop cams.
her connection isn't really connected right now. So we might have to recap. I do have another podcast coming up. Let me see. Um, trying to mute this. All right. So I'm going to probably end it really soon. I want y'all to be patient with her. Internet connections is very important for us to even have it. So I really thank y'all and I appreciate y'all for watching. I hope that you are enjoying it and enjoyed it at the same time. Um, trying to think. So I'm going to exit out.